I mean, I guess we should probably still talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Joe Finley, and today we are talking about a brand new addition to the BEACN family. Everything just got released today. The BEACN Mic. It is gorgeous. Spoiler alert, it sounds good, but we want to dig right into this thing. We want to go into the software and talk about everything there is to talk about with this thing. So first off, I'm going to disclose a little something. I already shot this video, but there was a little issue with the scaling of the video. For some reason it scaled down, and then when you brought it back up, it was a little bit fuzzy. I guess if you watch on something small, it's not a big deal, but I want you to be able to watch me in a movie theater. But these items deserve the best quality video I can give. I just unfortunately am short on time and had time to do one video, and I was almost done the other ones, so this one's getting a fresh treatment, and it's getting edited overnight and delivered to you promptly at the embargo time. I do want to thank BEACN for sending all this awesome stuff out to me to review. You can also find my written reviews on cgmagonline.com. You can find the links to those reviews down in the notes below. And it's important to note that I was not paid to do this review by BEACN or anybody else. My thoughts are my own. I get to say what I like. I get to say what I don't like. Nobody sees this before it goes live. So I think that gets all of that stuff out of the way. Oh, one more thing. Hey, why don't you like the video and subscribe while you're thinking about it? Alright, so we're actually going to go back to some previous footage that I shot before so you can see the unboxing of this. Okay, I've already taken the opportunity to slip it out of its sleeve because that's always a pain in the butt when you're trying to do this on here. I find it awkward. So let's open her up. This is a gigantic box, so we'll have to be very careful of not hitting the camera like that. We'll do this. Alright, we're going to have to go sideways. So we're going to go like this. Okay, so right off the bat, we got a USB-C to USB-C cable, so you can plug directly into your USB-C port in your PC if you have one. I have one, but I've had problems with it, and I actually had that issue when I was reviewing a webcam a little while ago, and I actually had to go out and buy an adapter. But I noticed something the second I opened this thing. I thought so. They provided you with an adapter. So I can just pop that on like so, and now I have a proper USB-C to USB-A cable that is incredibly long, so thank you guys for that. Oh, next we have just an auxiliary cable extension, probably for your headphone jack, I am assuming. Again, nice and lengthy, so that between that and the length of your headphones, you should have no problems like running a cable kind of around and stuff, so it doesn't come from the mic directly to your ears. All right, guys, and nervous and excited, mostly excited, and or maybe nervous. Maybe they just decided, hey, small content creator, you're not getting one. This is just gonna say sucker on the bottom. Ready? Oh, they covered it so it didn't get scratched, which is fine. I didn't get the white one though. This is not what the white looks like. Slide off the thing, and there you go. You got the BEACN logo on the sides here. I would have liked to have seen, actually, I've suggested, I saw this on another thing, I'm like, they should have it laser. They did. I never noticed it, but they did. They have the logo etched in the microphone itself. It's really subtle, which is actually perfect. Because, I mean, we're not supposed to be hype beasts on here. Well, I mean, really. But, oh my god, that looks great. And I gotta tell you, this is a heavy, heavy device. All of the processors and stuff are actually built into this thing, which we'll get into as we dig into the mic. But you can see in the back here, you just have your USB-C and your auxiliary here for your zero latency monitoring. And, ooh, something else that I'm really enjoying. Here, this does something actually exactly the same thing that Rode does, and I was kind of like, oh, I hope that they did this, because I hate dealing with adapters and stuff like that on my mic arms. It has the wide adapter, but then down underneath, you can see that it has the smaller one. So I can just screw this directly on no matter what size I'm dealing with. Bless you guys. Okay, well, I'm really, really excited to get this thing set up. I'm sorry, old girl, this might be the end for you on this channel. I do love a good unboxing. So let's just look at the mic as it stands on this arm right now. I actually have a new mic arm coming. It's not coming till after this video is going to be out though, so you do what you got to do. But it's beautiful. The capsule is gorgeous. We already talked about all of that. You can see the ring. I've gone with my new gold. You may have noticed that I have a new intro and all that stuff, new logo. That's new. And we got some cable management going on here with this clip, but it sure looks like a mic that we've seen before, doesn't it? It bears a striking resemblance to the Shure SM7B, and I am sure that that's not by accident. If anything, I think BEACN is putting forth a direct challenge to the XLR industry to say, hey, you can get it done with USB. By the end of this video, I guess we'll make that decision overall. So let's dive right into the software now. If you look here in the BEACN app, so you can see the two items that I currently have plugged in. It's a really simple setup. All you do is you have the BEACN app downloaded, and then you plug things in and they just pop up here with a default profile. So I don't have my BEACN Mix Create plugged in, and I'll let you know why in just a little bit, why that's the case. So up here you can see our devices. So there is the BEACN Mic, and down here is the BEACN Mix. So we're going to be focused obviously right in here. So I want to start with the non-soundy stuff right now. Let's get the easy stuff out of the way. So we're going to go into the light, so you can see all this different stuff here. You have different lighting styles and things that you can do. You can change your colors. You can select any of the colors from here, or you can double click and then you can pick a brand new color and it updates just like that. And then of course I forgot what my actual color is. It's like there, that will do. But you can also go with a gradient that would actually go between two colors, and you can see that here ever so faintly. You can have a reactive meter, so you can see now as I'm talking this actually reacts. You can also set it to react to whatever is coming through your headphones, so you might have music or game or something like that going, and you can have a little kind of bit of animation going with that. You can change the sensitivity of this so it doesn't go all super bananas and just goes a little light like that. That's a bit nicer. You can do a sparkle, which is just a slightly different version of the gradient, the way it moves. You can choose speed and direction, sensitivity, all the good stuff, and then you can just turn on a spectrum cycle. There's nothing really to do about this other than speed and that. So this is what you've been seeing in most of the promos and stuff for it. So I like my solid color right now, though. I haven't really made a final decision yet since it's so new to me, but that's what we're sticking with for the time being. Down here, you just have some options about what happens when the microphone gets muted, so that it will turn red, or you can make it turn any other color, or you could just have you could have the LED ring turn off altogether. And then just some options of what to do if the USB is suspended. So if for whatever reason it kind of loses connection, it can turn off the LED ring. That's what it's set to as a default. And then you know that, hey, my microphone's not working. Worth noting right here now, you'll notice that there's a red dot now beside this profile. And what that actually means is that we've made changes to the profile and it's currently unsaved. So what we got to do is go up here and click save, and then it goes away. It's just a visual reminder to make sure that you don't click away, because if you click away, it reverts everything back. So now we go into the mic controls here, and this is just a beautiful setup. So you can see I've already got it set up for myself. We're gonna actually start from scratch though, so you can see what it looks like. So what I'm gonna do is come back over here to the profiles, and I'm gonna click add a new profile. And that's a new profile. Now you can see it actually looks differently, and you'll probably hear that I sound differently. I'm actually going to go ahead and put on my headphones now so I can hear what's going on. So it's very quiet right now because it defaulted down here. So I got to turn up the mic so it actually goes to the right level. There we go. So you can hear me now at a proper volume. Now we're hearing a lot of stuff. I don't sound the way I did before, that's for sure. And you can hear a lot of room noise if you listen. So we got to get rid of all that stuff right away. So let's just listen 1 second to the difference between the two. If I go back to my other profile, and then I go back to this profile, so you can see that a lot of work has been done on my profile. So now we're going to get that done here so you can see what it looks like. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to work down here to start, and then we'll move up to the EQ and get things all set up. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to noise suppression, which we might as well get rid of that. So you can actually see there's like a noise profile going on if I stop talking for a sec. You can just kind of see that is the noise wave that's going on. So there are two different types of noise suppression. There's an adaptive noise suppression and a snapshot. They serve very different purposes. If you just want to make sure that no kind of excess noises that are just happening to go on around in your room or something like that, you want them out, you want them gone. I don't know, maybe you have a ghost. You'll probably want to use the adaptive because the ambient noise is changing in your room. Now, if you have a room like my room, there's constant noise going on and I can hear it all the time whenever I turn on a microphone. So I prefer to use the snapshot for this room because it actually isolates the exact sound that I'm looking to get rid of and gets rid of it. So let's have a listen to the difference between the two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here to turn it on. So that's the adaptive. And that's not bad right off the bat, right? So the blue line is the noise suppression line. This is the noise that it's detected. And then this is just the noise that's actually happening. So let's go quiet for a second, see the difference. So it's really close though. I mean, just a little bit of noise. And you can actually change the sensitivity and stuff like that to make sure that you get it just right. So that's that one. So now let's go and do the snapshot one. And I'm going to click on snapshot. And then there's a little button here called take snapshot. Now I'm going to have to be quiet for a second. When I click it, it's going to actually just want to listen to the room. So let's do it. Gone. It's so impressive. And it's really important to know while you're using software to do all of this, the software isn't doing any of this. All of the processing is happening inside the microphone. So you're not using up any processing power on your computer to get this stuff done. This is AI noise suppression and it's all happening inside the mic, and that's super impressive to me. So now let's jump over to the expander. So what the expander is, it's almost the exact opposite of the compressor when you think about it, because what a compressor is going to do, it's going to bring down the high audio and kind of even everything out up top so that nothing is peaking too high. Now what's going to happen with the expander is it's actually going to push out audio that's below a certain point. And what the point of this is to get rid of even more of those little noises and things like that that happen. So this is essentially a noise gate, but it just looks a little bit different. So what we got to do is figure out what our noise would be. So we can see that the threshold is actually over any kind of ambient noise that's going on in the room anyways, which is good. Now I have to consider other noises that I might want to exclude from the room. There might be little, you know, like little tappy noises. Okay, so we can bring that up beyond that. So it's gotten better, right? And then you can keep doing that. Now you have to keep in mind there is a limit, because eventually you can bring it up so high that if you talk too low, you're going to start cutting off your own voice, and you don't want that to happen. I have in front of me the clickiest keys in the world. It is the loudest keyboard. And an interesting thing about this microphone, it doesn't actually remove all noise. Like there's AI noise removal out there. NVIDIA Broadcast does it, I think. And like you can literally be like pounding on a table and it'll remove that because it's not a voice. This one doesn't do that. It just does the best job possible for removing anything ambient. So now we go to the compressor, and like I said, the compressor is going to take anything that gets too high and then kind of push it back down. Just keeps those peaky peaks from peaking as peaky as it peaks. So the thing that I really like that they do here is they always have a simple version and an advanced version. So, and that's the same with the expander too. So you can see, you click the advanced and then you have more information to go with. So the compressor, I'm not really used to a simple one. I've always worked with a more advanced compressor. So I go here and I always work with a 4:1 ratio. That's pretty standard. I change these around. I've played around with it for a long time, and I found that the best that works for me is a 15 millisecond attack, and then I try for an 80 millisecond release. There we go. So now if I talk really, really high, you can see that it's pushing down. You see the attenuation starts to come into play, and it keeps me from going too high. And you can make adjustments and all that other good stuff. Also, when this happens, it tends to get a little bit lower than it was before, and then so you might need to use a little bit of makeup gain to deal with that. This output gain too, also worth noting, it is a digital gain, so I recommend not using it if you don't have to. If you can use the regular mic gain and stuff like that to get everything exactly where you want it, just leave it at that. And the last thing down here are the headphones. So we can actually control stuff from our headphones here. I can change my mic monitors and then how much I hear everything else that's being sent to my headphones, because you can have everything routed so you can hear your game, you can hear everything else, so you can actually create that balance here. Then you got a nice little simple EQ. You can work with it and you can bring up your bass a little bit, you can bring down your mid, however you like to do this, that's where I would do it. And then you have a little bit of a subwoofer thing here, so you can up that a little bit. And then the really cool thing that's over here is the amp power. So this is to help customize to the headphones that you're wearing. So say, for example, you've got like Ninja's headphones and he's got like, what, 250 ohm headphones. So that would be a high impedance headphone. So you can go into high impedance mode and then just, you know, optimizes your setup. But it even goes all the way down to an in-ear monitor, so if you have just like earbuds in, it'll also help you there. I'm gonna assume it helps you just from blowing out your eardrums from the bass, but this was a really thoughtful thing to add. All right, let's jump up to the equalizer now. So this is just the simple version of the equalizer. So we have a few options here, so we can just drag these up and down as we see fit. I can't go left and right with them. It's just, this is my lows, these are my mids, and these are my highs. That's just the way it goes. I can do that and make myself sound reasonable. There's nothing wrong with this. I like to go just a little bit more. I don't go super crazy, but I like to do just a little bit more. So what I want to do is I'm going to go into the advanced EQ. But before I do that, I'm going to show you with a drop down. There's another preset. So here's your flat preset that we started with. And here's our not flat preset. So it actually does that for you. This is actually right around the settings that I use, except just with an extra band, but we'll get into that in a second. I just want to point out something that I noticed though. When I said this, it was a pretty rough S, and we just happen to have a de-esser right here. So let us work with it for a second. So I'm going to bring it all the way down, and now we're going to make the sound, see, and it's getting pretty, it's bad already. So now if I play with it, it's pretty dope, right? So now I can get that out of the way so we can get the harsh S's out of there. While we're down here, we also have a bass enhancement. Now as I change style, so you can see the little expansion that's happening here. So this is style 1, where the bass enhancement is actually happening. Now if I change it to style 2, you can see it took out some of this lower end and just kind of kept it here. If I move to style 3, it's now curved over here a little bit, and then over here you have your exciter. So what that's doing is it's just giving you a little bit more presence in your high end here. You can see that's what this wave line is here. You can adjust how much and how little, so you can see now I have nothing there, and then all of a sudden I have a lot there. You know, try and keep it simple, and then you can focus it by moving it to a frequency that best suits you. This is the kind of thing that you want to spend some real time on before you get started. So like I said, I'm going to go to the advanced EQ now, so I'm going to click on that, and now we just start and we only have one band on there, so I can add bands just by clicking and clicking and clicking. So I usually like to go with 4 bands. So we'll start here, and I'm going to bring up my bass to just above 3 decibels. Yeah, that's about right. And then I'm going to click here to do that. Oh, now I want to change this a little bit. And now I'm going to take my other guy here, and I'm going to bring down the mids a little bit, about 3 decibels as well. I'm going to do the same over here. And then I'm going to take this little guy and I'm going to expand him out a little bit, because I usually like it to be, yeah, right about there. That's when I really wanted to start going up, is right around here. So I'm reasonably happy right now with how I sound. I will inevitably come through and tweak as I'll record my own voice and I'll listen back just to make sure that what I'm hearing in my headphones reflects what is being recorded, and we're going to get it just so. So I'm happy with this for now, and then the next thing we're going to see, and it doesn't really matter what profile we're on, so I'm going to just go back to my own profile. There we go. You can actually hear more bass than my voice on this one. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. Hello. There it goes. Now we have this line here. So there's something worth noting. This line won't exist if you have the BEACN Mix Create plugged in. I've learned that. So what we got to do, so that's actually why it's unplugged right now, and that's what we were talking about before. So this is actually your mixer. This is the really cool thing about this mic. All the other mics that have their own mixer like this, you need the mic for the mixer. Now you can buy just the mixer, and then you can use any microphone you want with it, a microphone that you have already, like this guy, for example. You can integrate it with this microphone, or if you want the microphone but you don't want the mixer, they're going to provide you with a mixer. The only difference is you don't have hardware, you don't have knobs to turn and all that kind of stuff and buttons to push. You would have to go in and use the software, but that's again no different than this guy. The only difference to me though is that the software for this thing goes miles ahead of what Elgato's even done with all of this specific control that we see on screen right now, as well as some of the features in the mixer, which we're going to take a look at now. So if I click on here, this will only happen for the microphone. It'll ask you to enable it because it's going to assign brand new audio sources and stuff like that. So we'll enable now. So if you're familiar with the Elgato Wavelink, you'll be familiar with what we're looking at here. So the important thing to know is that this is all identical to the BEACN Mix Creates software. So if you want to see an overview of all of this and how to use it and stuff like that, I'm going to actually make a full tutorial in the future, but if you want to see more of an overview right now, go check out that video and you'll see the whole thing there. So what do we think, friends? How do I sound to you? Like, let me know down in the comments how you think I sound. I personally love the way I sound. This is probably my favorite microphone that I've ever used. Definitely my favorite USB microphone that I've ever used. There's a simplicity of using the USB solutions and stuff like that when you're on the computer, not needing the extra piece of gear to get it going. I just really appreciate that. But moreover, I just love the way it sounds. But finally, we should probably talk price. The BEACN mic sells for $279 US. That is a very high price for a USB microphone, and I would understand a lot of hesitancy. I mean, not everybody's got that kind of money going around, but then you have to start to consider what solution do you want to have as a creator. I need a microphone that makes me sound good, and some people might just go right for the XLR solution. I've made a video before about people saying, hey, go get the Shure SM7B. I don't know what your budget is, I don't know what your needs are, but yeah, go get that super expensive microphone. Oh, you need two? That's fine, it's not my money. But if you're going for an XLR solution, then you still have to consider how much everything costs. So say, even for example, I've got the Rode Pod mic and the Wave XLR, and the Wave XLR right now it's $209. Then you add in the Rode Pod mic, which is another $100. So now you're looking at $309 for the exact same solution that I have right here. So all of a sudden it becomes a much more affordable option. You can get a cheap little mixer, but that's only going to do you so good for so long, and you can't frankly skimp when it comes to any other part of an XLR solution. If you have a cheap cable, the whole thing's a wash. If you have a cheap mic, the whole thing's a wash. Now the Pod mic's already considered a fairly inexpensive mic. Okay gang, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. If you want to see more tutorials about this mic or the BEACN Mix or Mix Create, or how to integrate them together, let me know down in the comments. I do plan on making a couple more videos about this thing, including integrating it fully in your stream and how to use it in OBS, and some creative ways to integrate the BEACN Mix and BEACN Mix Create together as well, just to make yourself a more robust mixing and controlling system. So I really hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it despite the fact it's my second time making the video, and I'm very tired. It is 1:50 a.m. as I say this. And if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to take a moment to like the video, and I'd love it if you subscribed and click the bell and all those good things. It helps me greatly to get seen in the world. I'm very grateful to have had this opportunity to review all this awesome new stuff. There's a lot of awesome creators out there who would be the obvious first choices to get this, you know, and give their first impressions. They are the influencers, as it were. So to be chosen among them, and to be honest, like, I've been in a Discord with them and all this stuff, and just to kind of be peers with them for the first time, it's felt pretty great. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little giddy just looking around in that Discord and seeing like just some of my absolute favorite people, the people that I started watching before I even bought my first piece of gear. And if you haven't had the chance already, to watch the video, make sure you go and check out my BEACN Mix and BEACN Mix Create video. I'm going to warn you ahead of time, that whole softness thing, that video was essentially done by the time I figured that out, because when I'm editing, the window's not full, so it looked fine the way it was. It wasn't until I watched it full screen that I realized that it was a problem. So life is hard sometimes, but we're going to wrap it up here, everybody. Thank you again, and until next time, let's get to work.